coming out. I think
I
we
love you,
filled up
man.
the main room, but there's going to be a spillover room where we hope you'll go into. Look, this country today, as everybody here knows, faces some enormously serious crises. And one of the crises that we face is that the younger generation, many of you, if we do not change it, will have a lower standard of living than your parents. We have got to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. No president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can address the crises facing this country alone. And the reason for that is that Wall Street and corporate America and wealthy campaign contributors have so much power that no one alone can take them on. That's why we need a political revolution. And what that means is everybody in America has got to understand that many do not know. You are all very powerful people if you choose to use that power. Let's do it. And what that power means is that we tell Washington that the Congress of the United States has got to represent us all and not just wealthy campaign contributors. What it means is thinking outside of the box. For example, every one of you, every person here was told, get the best education that you can, right? Yeah. But you weren't told that you're gonna have to pay off that student loan for decades. Yeah. All right? People should not be punished for getting an education. They should be rewarded. We should not today see hundreds of thousands of bright young people who have the ability and the qualifications not be able to go to college because their families lack the income. Our job is to understand that in the year 2016, public education cannot just mean first grade through 12th grade. It has got to mean making public colleges and universities tuition free. That is not a radical idea. It's an idea that already exists in many countries around the world. Also, people should not have to be crushed with student debt. And that's why we have introduced legislation that will allow people who have large student debts to refinance their loans at the lowest possible interest rates. The America that I believe in, and I know most of you believe in, is that we have a vibrant democracy, which means one person, one vote. It does not mean a Citizens United Supreme Court decision which allows billionaires to buy elections. That is not democracy, that is oligarchy. Today in America, we have a broken criminal justice system. In America today, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, including China. I think that instead of building more jails and putting more people into them, we should invest in education and jobs for our young people. My Republican colleagues go around the country talking about family values. I want everybody here to know what their values are. What their values are is that no woman here, in their view, should have the right to control her own body. I disagree. family values are that our gay brothers and sisters should not have the right to get married. I disagree. All of you are aware, or should be aware, that the debate over climate change is over. The scientific community is virtually unanimous that climate change is real. It is caused by human activity. It is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. And what the scientists tell us is if we don't get our act together in a very short time span, a bad situation will become much worse. More drought, floods, extreme weather disturbances, acidification of the ocean, rising sea levels. Think about what that means to this country and around the world. We have a moral responsibility as custodians of this planet to make certain that the planet we leave our future generations is a planet that is healthy and habitable. And that means that we are going to have to summon up the guts to take on the fossil fuel industry and tell them that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet.
Yeah!
What this campaign is about is asking people to think outside of the box, not to accept the status quo as something that is frozen or that we have to deal with forever. We have in this nation the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and yet at the same time we have more wealth and income inequality than any other country on earth. We do not have to continue to accept a situation where the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%, where the 20 wealthiest people own more wealth than the bottom 150 million Americans, where one family, the Walton family, owns more wealth than the bottom 40%. We do not have to accept a crooked tax system where major corporations make billions of dollars in a given year and do not pay a nickel in federal taxes. We can, if we stand together, and if we do not allow the Trumps of the world to divide us up. If we do not fall for his scapegoating, where we're supposed to hate Mexicans or Muslims, whoever, or women or veterans, or wherever the particular group that he's hating today. If we understand that when we stand together, there really is nothing that we can accomplish. We're not a poor country. We are a very rich country. Last point that I want to make. All of you know that every other major country on earth, whether it's the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Holland, Scandinavia, Canada, all guarantee health care to all of their people. How does it happen? How does it happen that in our country today, despite the gains of the Affordable Care Act, how does it happen that 29 million people still have no health insurance? Millions more are underinsured with high deductibles and co-payments, and we get ripped off big time by the drug companies who charge us the highest prices in the world for our medicine. Can we do better than that?
Yes!
It is not a radical idea. It exists all over the world to say that health care is a right of all people, not a privilege. All of you, every person here should be able to go out and start a business and leave your current job without worrying that your family is not going to have health insurance. You don't have to stay at a job you don't like because it provides decent health insurance.
Right.
Now, I am often criticized. Well, let me just make one other point. I was in Flint, Michigan. a couple of weeks ago. And what I saw in Flint absolutely devastated me, and it blew me away. To hear parents talking about what is happening to their children who have been poisoned by lead in their water was hard to listen to and hard to imagine that this was happening in the United States of America in the year 2016. All right, so what we have got to do is to envisage where we want this country to go. And I don't think it's hard. I think most Americans agree. We want to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, including our water systems. We want to rebuild our roads and our bridges. We want pay equity for women workers. We want paid family and medical leave. We want to lead the world in transforming our energy system so we effectively combat climate change. We want every person in this country who has the ability and the desire to be able to get a college education without going into debt. None of these ideas is radical. Every single one of them, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. None of these ideas is radical. It's what the American people want. But we will not get it unless millions of people start participating in the political process in a way that we have not seen for a very long time. Now, on Tuesday, there's a very important primary here in Illinois and 4 other states. We were told last week at this time that we could not win in Michigan. Polls had us down. Well, you know what happened? There was a record-breaking turnout.
Feel the burn!
And you know what else happened? We won. So if there is a strong turnout here in Illinois, we're going to win on Tuesday, and Illinois will have the opportunity to help lead this country into a political revolution. Please come out and vote. Bring your uncles and your aunts.